Imagine a country where in the north millions of liters of water crash through a subtropical rainforest, creating one of the most spectacular waterfall systems on Earth. At the same time, far in the south, enormous walls of ice move slowly between snow-covered mountains and deep blue lakes. In the center, vast plains stretch toward the horizon, where horsemen ride beneath an immense sky. And when night falls in Buenos Aires, the sound of the bandoneon begins to rise. Two strangers step closer, exchange a glance, and begin to dance the tango under warm city lights. That country is Argentina, a nation of ice and fire, of modern cities and untamed landscapes, of unforgettable victories and painful chapters of history. Argentina is not only the homeland of football, tango, and world-famous beef. It is also a land of passionate, creative people who have learned how to stand up again after every crisis. Argentina is located in the southern part of South America. To the west, the Andes Mountains form a vast natural wall along the border with Chile. To the east lies the Atlantic Ocean. Argentina also shares borders with Bolivia, Paraguay, Brazil, and Uruguay. Its territory stretches for more than 3,000 kilometers from north to south, and this extraordinary length explains the country's remarkable variety of climates and landscapes. In the north, travelers can enter humid subtropical forests and regions influenced by Andean culture. In the central part of the country, there are fertile plains, large cities, and agricultural land. In the west, mountain ranges rise above dry valleys and famous wine-producing areas. In the south begins Patagonia, a land of strong winds, glacial lakes, snowy peaks, and open spaces that seem to continue forever. Argentina covers approximately 2.78 million square kilometers, making it the second largest country in South America after Brazil. It is divided into 23 provinces and the autonomous city of Buenos Aires. Most of the population lives in urban areas, especially in and around the capital. Yet numbers alone cannot explain Argentina because every region seems to tell a completely different story. Buenos Aires is the capital, the economic center, and one of the strongest symbols of the nation. The city stands beside the Rio de la Plata, a huge estuary separating Argentina from Uruguay. Buenos Aires is often described as a European-looking city in South America. Along its wide avenues, French, Spanish, and Italian architectural influences stand beside modern buildings. But the beauty of Buenos Aires does not come only from its architecture. The soul of the city lives in its neighborhoods. La Boca is known for colorful houses, murals, and street performers. San Telmo has cobblestone streets, antique markets, and tango dancers performing in public squares. Recoleta appears elegant and refined, with historic mansions and one of the country's most famous cemeteries. Palermo feels younger and more modern, filled with parks, cafes, restaurants, galleries, and nightlife. At the center of the city stands the obelisk, a tall white monument rising above Avenida 9 de Julio. It is a gathering place for sports celebrations, major events, and public demonstrations. Not far away is the Casa Rosada, the pink presidential palace facing Plaza de Mayo. This square has witnessed many decisive moments in Argentine history. It is also where the mothers and grandmothers of Plaza de Mayo marched for years, demanding truth and justice for relatives who disappeared during the military dictatorship. Buenos Aires can therefore feel romantic, noisy, elegant, and deeply serious at the same time. It may charm visitors with historic cafes and old theaters, then suddenly confront them with questions about memory, justice, and the weight of the past. Long before Europeans arrived, the land now known as Argentina was inhabited by many indigenous peoples. In the north lived communities connected culturally to the Andean world. Across the plains in the south lived peoples such as the Guarani, Com, Huichi, Mapuche, and Tehuelche. Each community developed its own language, traditions, social structures, and ways of adapting to the environment. Their legacy remains present in place names, crafts, music, food, and the lives of indigenous communities today. From the 16th century onward, Spain gradually established control over the region. Buenos Aires developed into an important colonial port. Over time, strict trade rules, political inequality, and revolutionary ideas increased the desire for self-government. On May 25, 1810, the May Revolution took place in Buenos Aires. A local government was formed, beginning the process of separation from Spain. 6 years later, on July 9, 1816, representatives gathered in the city of Tucumán and formally declared independence. One of the most important figures of this period was José de San Martín. He organized the Army of the Andes and led one of the most remarkable military campaigns of the era. His troops crossed the mountains and helped advance the struggle for independence in Chile and Peru, as well as Argentina. Today, May 25th and July 9th remain two of the most important national dates. Yet independence did not immediately bring stability. For decades, Argentina experienced internal conflicts, struggles between provinces, and disagreements over how power should be organized. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Argentina entered a period of strong economic growth based on agriculture, cattle ranching, and exports. Millions of immigrants, especially from Italy and Spain, arrived in search of a new life. They brought languages, recipes, music, professions, and customs. Modern Argentine society developed from the meeting of indigenous peoples, Europeans, Afro-Argentines, and many later waves of immigration. During the 20th century, Argentina went through periods of prosperity, economic crisis, political conflict, and interruptions of democracy. Juan Domingo Perón and Eva Perón became two of the most influential figures in the country's history. Eva Perón, widely known as Evita, was admired by many workers and poor families because of her social work and public presence. At the same time, the political legacy of Peronism continues to inspire strong debate. From 1976 to 1983, Argentina was ruled by a military dictatorship. Thousands of people were detained, persecuted, killed, or disappeared. The pain of this period remains part of the country's collective memory. Democracy was restored in 1983. Since then, Argentina has continued investigating crimes committed during the dictatorship and defending the importance of human rights. Every year on March 24th, the country remembers the victims and repeats a powerful lesson. Democracy, memory, and justice must be protected by every generation. The most widely spoken language in Argentina is Spanish. However, Argentine Spanish has a rhythm and pronunciation of its own. In Buenos Aires and the Rio de la Plata region, the letters L and Y are often pronounced with a sound similar to SH or ZH. In everyday speech, people commonly use vos instead of tu. For this reason, even someone who already speaks Spanish may be surprised when hearing the Argentine accent for the first time. Argentines are often described as expressive, energetic, and deeply proud of their country. During conversation, they may speak with their hands, change the tone of their voice, and debate passionately. This intensity does not always mean anger. Often, it simply shows involvement and interest. Family and friendship are extremely important. A weekend meal may last for several hours. People gather around the table, share food, tell stories, and argue about football, politics, work, or daily life. One of the country's most recognizable customs is drinking mate. Yerba mate leaves are placed in a small cup and consumed through a metal straw called a bombilla. Yet mate is far more than a bitter drink. It is a social ritual. One person prepares it, pours in hot water, and passes it to the next person. Everyone drinks from the same cup in turn. In parks, universities, workplaces, and during long trips, mate is almost always present. Sharing it is a simple way of saying, "Sit with us. We have time to talk." It is impossible to speak about Argentina without mentioning tango. Tango emerged in the late 19th century in the port districts of Buenos Aires and Montevideo. It developed in working-class neighborhoods where European immigrants, Afro-descendant communities, and local residents came together. At first, tango was the music of laborers, sailors, and immigrants far from home. Its songs spoke about love, loneliness, loss, old streets, and opportunities that would never return. The instrument most closely associated with tango is the bandoneon. Its deep, melancholic sound can seem like an entire conversation without words. In tango dancing, two people often remain very close. They do not simply repeat a fixed choreography. They must listen to each other, trust each other, and respond to the smallest signals. A slight shift in the body may indicate the next step. For this reason, tango can be understood as a silent dialogue. Today, tango lives in theaters, dance schools, festivals, and street performances. It is also danced in milongas, social spaces where people of different ages come together to share the dance floor. Tango is not only a show for visitors. For many Argentines, it is a living memory of the city and of the generations that once walked through its streets. If tango represents the urban spirit of Argentina, the gaucho represents the countryside. The traditional image of the gaucho is a horseman crossing the pampas, wearing wide trousers, boots, a hat, and carrying the tools of rural life. For centuries, gauchos cared for cattle and traveled across enormous territories. They became associated with freedom, endurance, courage, and the ability to survive in open landscapes. Rural life has changed, but gaucho culture continues. It can be seen in folk music, traditional clothing, festivals, horsemanship, and ranches known as estancias. Argentina is famous around the world for the quality of its beef. But an asado is not simply grilled meat. It is a social event. The person responsible for the fire is called the asador. The asador controls the coals, arranges the cuts, and cooks everything slowly. No one is in a hurry. While the meat cooks, people talk, drink mate or wine, and enjoy the gathering. The meat is often served with chimichurri, a sauce made from parsley, garlic, oil, vinegar, and spices. Empanadas are another essential part of Argentine cuisine. They may be filled with beef, chicken, cheese, corn, or vegetables. Each province has its own recipes and its own way of folding the dough. Milanesa, a breaded and fried cutlet with European origins, has become one of the country's most beloved everyday foods. Argentine pizza is often thick and covered with a generous amount of cheese. In Buenos Aires, it is sometimes eaten with faina, a flatbread made from chickpea flour. Among desserts, dulce de leche is perhaps the most famous. It is made by slowly cooking milk and sugar until the mixture becomes thick, smooth, and caramel-colored. It appears in cakes, ice cream, pancakes, and alfajores. An alfajor consists of 2 small cookies joined by a sweet filling and often covered in chocolate or sugar. At the foot of the Andes, the province of Mendoza is one of the country's main wine regions. Malbec has become an international symbol of Argentine wine. Vineyards stretch beneath snow-covered mountains and receive water from the melting snow of the Andes. Argentine food therefore tells a larger story about immigration, agriculture, family, and cultural exchange. In Argentina, football is much more than a sport. It can be a childhood memory, the pride of a neighborhood, a family tradition, and sometimes even a shared language. Children play football on fields, sidewalks, schoolyards, and empty lots. They need only a ball and enough room to move. In Buenos Aires, the match between Boca Juniors and River Plate is known as the Super Clásico, one of the most famous football rivalries in the world. The stadiums fill with colors, flags, and songs long before the match begins. Argentina has produced many extraordinary footballers. Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi hold a special place in the memory of supporters. Maradona is remembered for his remarkable talent, powerful personality, and a life filled with both brilliant and difficult moments. Messi represents discipline, technical excellence, and the ability to remain at the highest level for many years. When Argentina won the FIFA World Cup in 2022, millions of people poured into the streets. Images of enormous crowds surrounding the obelisk showed the extraordinary power of football to unite society. Yet Argentine football does not exist only in trophies and stadiums. It lives in the father taking his child to a match for the first time. It lives in a jersey passed from one generation to the next. It lives in the sound of millions of homes celebrating the same goal at the same moment. In the northeast lies Iguazu National Park. There, the Iguazu River divides into hundreds of waterfalls surrounded by subtropical forest. The most famous section is known as the Devil's Throat. From the walkways above, visitors look down into a vast wall of white water. The sound is so powerful that it can drown out every voice. Mist rises into the air, and when sunlight appears, rainbows form above the falls. To the west, the Andes dominate the landscape. In the province of Mendoza rises Aconcagua, nearly 7,000 meters high. It is the highest mountain in the Americas and the highest mountain outside Asia. The region attracts climbers from around the world, but it is also known for scenic roads, dry valleys, and clear mountain skies. Patagonia stretches across southern Argentina and Chile. On the Argentine side, visitors find windswept steppes, blue lakes, forests, mountains, and coastlines rich in wildlife. At Peninsula Valdez, people can observe southern right whales, sea lions, penguins, and many species of seabirds. Near the town of El Calafate stands the Perito Moreno Glacier. Unlike the silent image many people imagine, this glacier is alive with movement. Deep cracks echo through the ice. Large pieces break away from the front and crash into the lake with a thunderous sound. Farther south lies Ushuaia, often described as one of the southernmost cities in the world. From there, boats travel through the Beagle Channel, passing snow-covered mountains, lighthouses, and islands filled with seabirds. Northwestern Argentina offers a completely different kind of beauty. In Jujuy and Salta, the landscape includes colorful mountains, dry valleys, adobe villages, and communities preserving strong Andean traditions. The Quebrada de Humahuaca served as an important route for thousands of years. Layers of red, purple, green, and yellow rock create a landscape that looks like a giant painting. This is proof that Argentina does not have only one face. Every region feels like another world. Argentina also has an exceptionally rich cultural life. Buenos Aires is famous for its theaters, bookstores, cultural centers, and cinemas. The Colón Theater is internationally recognized for its architecture and acoustics. In literature, Jorge Luis Borges became one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. His stories often lead readers into labyrinths, endless libraries, mirrors, dreams, and questions about time and reality. Julio Cortázar became known for experimentation, unusual structures, and new ways of telling stories. Argentina also has strong traditions in theater, comics, rock music, and cinema. Beyond tango, folk styles such as samba and chacarera remain important, especially in the northern and central provinces. Argentine music can be heard in an elegant theater, inside a stadium, at a provincial festival, or in the kitchen of a family home. Wherever it appears, music remains connected to memory and identity. The country's festivals also reflect its diversity. July 9th is Independence Day, one of the most important national celebrations. Cities hold ceremonies, concerts, parades, and community activities. May 25th marks the anniversary of the May Revolution. During this holiday, many families prepare traditional dishes such as locro, a rich and hearty stew. In Mendoza, the National Grape Harvest Festival honors grape growers and the wine industry. The event includes parades, music, dancing, colorful costumes, lights, and a large artistic performance. Buenos Aires hosts the Tango Festival and World Championship, where dancers and musicians from many countries meet and compete. The Northwest is known for carnival celebrations that combine Andean music, drums, bright costumes, and indigenous traditions. In Jesus Maria, a major folk festival and equestrian event celebrates Gaucho heritage. These events are not simply tourist attractions. They allow communities to remember their history, honor local workers, and pass traditions to the next generation. Modern Argentina is a highly urbanized country with important traditions in education, science, industry, agriculture, and the arts. Its agricultural and livestock production makes it one of the world's major food-producing nations. The country also has significant potential in renewable energy, technology, manufacturing, and energy resources. At the same time, Argentina faces serious challenges. Inflation, public debt, changes in the value of the currency, and inequality have affected several generations. Many families have had to adjust their plans, change the way they save money, and adapt constantly to uncertainty. Yet during difficult periods, one quality of Argentine society becomes especially visible: the ability to continue. The theaters remain open. The cafes stay full of conversation. Children keep playing football in the streets. Friends continue passing the mate from one hand to another. And the music begins again. Argentina is the sound of water crashing through the forests of Iguazu. It is the sound of ice breaking across the lakes of Patagonia. It is the slow movement of tango beneath the lights of Buenos Aires. It is the smell of an asado on a weekend afternoon. It is a mate passed from one person to the next. It is the roar of a crowd when the ball crosses the goal line. But beyond all these images, Argentina is the story of how opposite elements can become part of one identity. It is the meeting of European influences and indigenous roots. It is the memory of a painful past and the desire for a better future. It is the cold landscape of the far south and the intense passion of its people. Argentina may capture the attention of the world through football, tango, and extraordinary nature. But what people often remember most is the feeling of a country that lives everything intensely. In Argentina, joy is shared openly, sadness becomes music, memory remains alive in public squares, and hope, even after being tested many times, continues to move forward. That is Argentina, a vast country at the southern edge of the world, a land of passion, memory, and dreams that never stop moving.